All right. Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, October 27th. Happy Monday, everyone. Hopefully, everyone had a great weekend. It is 6:26 right now. We got market opening up in about 4 minutes. Um, so I'm kind of just running through a lot of stuff here behind the scenes. So I'm kind of like disheveled right now, getting everything together. But let me just put the trades over here on the list. So the first trade for today was at 6:14. I did not take that. It wasn't one of my target entries. But let's see. So it was against momentum. Let me just see if it played out. It's curious to look. 614. No, it doesn't look like it played out, which is fine. I mean, I typically don't like taking the trades before, pre-market anyways. So I'm just gonna take that off the list. I want to take off the extra ones that we don't really need on the list because they're kind of in the way, of course. So let's see, 24. Yeah, they already passed, so I'm gonna take them off. And neither of them were target entries. They're just entries that I put on there. So the first actual entry here that would technically be a target entry, it's not one I'm taking, but it's going to be a target entry. It's going to be at 629. Obviously, the opening candle. As you guys know, I don't take the opening candle because of all of the manipulation on open. So not really looking to take that one. I'll check the 846 one though, or the 646, because that's one that I might take. It's a target entry, so we'll follow it and I'll kind of see where it goes. But let's see who's here so far. Morning, Ryan. Morning, Alad. Morning, Chase. Morning, CJ. Morning, Karen. Morning, Maria. Morning, Patricia. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Lila. Morning, everybody. Morning, Ben. All right, guys. So we got market opening up shortly in about 2 minutes. Looks like for the most part, everyone's here. If you guys are looking to take the breakout on open, breakout on open is looking like it's going to be, let's see, looks like, and trading is a little laggy today. Let me refresh this. I don't know why. Hey, Lamar, morning. Morning, Chris. Morning, Michael. Okay, so breakout for today. If you're taking the breakout on open, it looks like it's going to be a buy entry. So if you guys are looking to take that, that's a possibility. It's going to open, market's going to open in about 50 seconds. Looking over here at the overall trend. So the 1 minute's currently bullish. You can see prices above the pivots. Trend meter is green. Pivots are angling up. It's more consolidating right here on the 5 minute. So it's more on the neutral side because price is barely crossing over. It's bullish here on the 15, bullish on the 30, bullish on the 1, bullish on the 4 hour. So with that being said, we have more of an overall bullish bias here with regard to the trend. Now looking over here at market structure, the 1 minute's currently bullish. 15, 30, 1 hour, 4 hour, pretty much all bullish for the most part, except for the 5 minute, which is neutral, which aligns with the trend over here. So with that being the case, if you guys are trading technicals, looks like it's probably going to be for a buy. And if you guys are looking to take the breakout for today, it is also looking like it's going to be for a buy. Market's going to open up shortly here in about 5 seconds. So we got this right here for the breakout. If anybody is looking to take that, I'm not taking it, of course. I don't take the breakout on open, but there we go. Market is now open. And the breakout is currently running. I don't know if the stats are here for this. There we go. It's currently running in profit right there. It kind of depends on what you guys are using. If you're doing a 50-50, it's currently pushing up. If you're doing the 40-20, looks like the 40-20 already hit. So if you guys did 40 points is already hit for 40-20. And it looks like it's pushing up higher to that 50. And then if you guys are going for that 80-40, then it'll probably push up from there as well. So there we go, guys. Market is now open. Price is kind of just pushing back and forth. Let's go ahead and take a look at the entry over here. Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I wouldn't take anything here on open. It's a little too crazy. The entry that I would probably be looking for is going to be right here at 646. price is still kind of spiking up right there. I'm gonna we'll just follow it here. But the next entry is gonna be at 646 right here. So I'm going to be looking for market to be against momentum. It has a 68.75% probability of it winning for a 1 to 2. It has a win percentage of 80% for buys here. Pretty much won 8 out of the 10 previous buys. And the most recent Mondays, it won 2 out of the 3 recent Mondays. So with that being the case, I'm probably going to look for some sells here at 646. So what I'm looking for here is I'm actually looking for price to push up quite a bit and then reverse from here. Basically like a head and shoulders pattern, right? Obviously, I'm not trading patterns and I'm not trading technical analysis, but that's kind of what I'm looking for. Hey, Seth, morning. Some of you guys are asking or mentioning that I'm wearing a normal shirt today. Yeah, I'm like, I'm wearing a normal shirt because I got a meeting with an investor after this. So I got to go play golf after this with an investor. It's one of the bigger investors. So last week was pretty cool. I locked in my first like 7-figure client. Um, one of the guys from my gym. You know, it's crazy. Like a lot of people don't realize like there's a lot of people that just look like normal people, like at your gym or in your city or wherever, but these people are like super, super rich. There's this one older guy at my gym, Phil. Some of you guys might know him. Majority of you guys probably don't know him if you guys are from my gym because nobody talks to him. He's this older Jewish guy. And yeah, nobody really talks to him. This guy's pretty like he looks pretty old, but he's pretty fit for an old guy. And I've been kind of building this relationship with him, you know, as friends for like past couple months. My wife actually gave me the assist on him because he does spin with her and he saw me at the gym and we connected through her. And yeah, he's the first really big investor into the hedge fund. So he's going to be investing like about $1 million into the fund. And then he connected me with these other hedge fund guys from Newport um, to invest as well. So today I'm playing golf with like the 3 other guys that are looking to invest in the fund. And they're already sold on the fund. It's just we're gonna talk and see if we're a good fit. So it's the fund's getting pretty big, guys, like pretty quickly. One thing as well. So I have some good news for you guys here who are part of the fund already. We are going to be moving to an institutional broker probably this week. So I've been in talks with StoneX, which is they're like one of the biggest institutional brokers. And they're trying to buy my business to bring my clients over there. So yeah, we're probably gonna move over to an institutional broker. I know a lot of you guys were kind of worried about if I was to start trading for, you know, a lot of clients, it's gonna be hard for me to put these orders in because I'm trading them individually. When we move to the institutional broker, we're gonna be doing block orders. So I'll be dropping like 1,000 contracts, but they're gonna be in one like fat order, and then they'll average out the price. So so yeah, the it's gonna be a lot easier for us to put our orders in because I'm gonna be dropping so many contracts. So yeah, I had a meeting with StoneX on Friday, and I'm gonna meet with StoneX. So on Friday, I met with their institutional guy, and then today I'm gonna meet with my like institutional account manager. It's pretty crazy, guys. We're moving pretty fast, you know, like through the motions with because I started as a regular trader just like you guys, right? I started as a retail trader like you guys, and now I'm moving over to the institutional side, which is cool because I get a lot more deals. You know, like typically, like when you guys sign up for a broker, you just have to accept whatever options they give you. But when you're trading on the institutional side, they'll like bargain with you. Like, you know, you can bargain for your commissions, your fees, and all that stuff. So it's it's pretty interesting. It's crazy. You're taking well care of on the institutional side too. So I'm excited for what's to come. But we'll see what happens here. So all right, guys, we got our next entry coming up right here at 646. Let me check the chat real quick. Barack. Alad said, I think I know him. You've probably seen him before, Alad. at the gym. He's like an older guy. Um, yeah, he's usually like swimming and he does spin and he's usually just like on the turf like stretching. Like I would see him at the gym all the time and he's like really, really old, but um yeah, my wife introduced me to him. He knew what I was doing, but when I told him I opened the fund, he was like ready to invest. So it was cool. It's like like if you go to my gym, you guys will know what I'm talking about. Like I've been studying, like when I started going to my gym for this specific reason, right? For the networking and for the relationships and stuff like that. Like I've been studying the parking lot. Like at our gym, I know exactly who's driving the Ferraris. I know who's driving the Lambos. I know who's driving the G-Wagons. I know who's driving all the cars that are expensive, and I know who they are because I personally introduced myself. I've been building these relationships for like months, if not a year, because I knew that in a year's time I was going to open this hedge fund. So I was going to be friends with these people. So once the fund opens, I can introduce myself or not introduce myself, but introduce the business, and they would already know me and be ready to invest. So yeah, you probably do know him a lot. It seems like a lot, like everybody, all the Jewish people at the gym kind of know each other. So I'm pretty sure you know him a lot. Um, you guys are all kind of very well connected at the gym, which is cool. It's always, you guys always look out for each other. Let's see. Smith is asking, so instead of Ninja, do the hedge? Should we wait for StoneX or something else? I haven't set up Ninja yet. So, I mean, it depends on you, Smith. If you want to start right away, you can still set up Ninja. It's not going to be a big deal. Like you can set up Ninja, and then when we do the transition, you're just going to set up another account with StoneX. So it's still going to be like a couple weeks because it takes about a week for the account setup, like the onboarding process. So if you want to set up Ninja now and get started right away, you can do that. And then when we finally move over to StoneX, you can switch over. It's going to be pretty streamlined. So it's up to you. If you want to start right now, you can. If you're okay with waiting, you could wait. It's just up to you if you want to get started right away. I mean, I would start now. Obviously, the market's pretty good, so I would just start now, and then you just transfer the funds over. Or if you have extra funds, you can just deposit more funds into StoneX and then withdraw your funds from Ninja once the transition happens. Yeah, because I'm not sure how long it's going to take because I still got to figure out how to use the StoneX platform, right? Trading on the institutional side is a lot different compared to trading on the retail side. Like I'm not just going to be having random buy or sell orders. I have to like set up block orders. I got to figure out how the platform works. It just depends on how long it takes for me to get up to speed with their platform. All right, guys, if you're looking for an entry, next entry is going to be right here at 646. It's going to be against momentum. I'm looking at current price right now. I don't know if we're going to get that entry. What I would need to see here is I would need to see a buy signal come up because the reason for that is the entry at 646 is going to be a sell, right? So right here, if you look at my list at 646, we have a entry coming up right here. It's going to be against momentum. Overall probability is 68.75%. So for buys and sells, this is the probability overall. Um, Looking over here, it's 111 out of the previous 16 entries. Looking over here for the buys, it has a 50% probability for it winning for buys. And then for the sells, it has an 80% probability. So with that being the case, obviously I'm going to be going for the sells here versus the buys, right? Because the probability here is a lot higher. I need the probabilities to balance out to above 65%. The longs here don't qualify for that. The shorts here do. So in order for me to have this entry here for a sell, I would need to have a buy signal where price kind of pushes up a little bit, and then I look for that to reverse right back down. But it's not looking like that's going to be the case. So if that's not the case, it's completely fine. And the next entry is going to be at 648. So right there. Hey, David. Yeah, thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, I know. So David, I mean, a lot of you guys here have been trading with me from the beginning, right? I've been trading live for Well, I've been trading in general for over 12 years, but I've been trading live every day for like 8 years. So a lot of you guys have been with me since before COVID, and we've been trading. I mean, you guys have seen me start trading with Forex, and then from Forex we went to indices, and from indices we went to futures, and yeah, it's been a progression, and it's cool to see a lot of you guys here kind of come up with me. Um, just from a basic retail trader to now owning a hedge fund. All right, so looking at the entry here at 646, guys, not looking like we're going to have an entry here, which is perfectly fine. I might not even look for entries until 7 o'clock, honestly. Like we have another one right here at 646, but the one at 646 isn't very strong. Right, it has an overall 56.25% probability overall. For sells here, it has an 85.71 probability. Um, yeah, we'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens here. Rick said them buying you out. Does that mean you won't be trading live with us here any longer? No. So the Zoom will for sure be here. If anything, the YouTube might come down. Well, not come down, but I probably won't be trading on YouTube anymore. Yeah, you guys are fine here on the Zoom, guys. Because the thing is, on the Zoom, there's only like so many people who can watch, right? The people who are actually paying for the Zoom. On the YouTube, like anybody in the public can watch. Um, it's funny because at my gym, I have a couple of guys who work at the big banks. Like, there's a couple guys there that I know who work at like JP Morgan and Wells Fargo and stuff. And they mentioned that once my fund went public, because I'm located in Irvine, like in this small city. That's not a small city, but it's a small enough city. Um, a lot of these banks kind of look at these firms that open up. So when my name came up, Kodi Kai Capital with my name, a lot of these banks started looking at my YouTube because they're like, oh, there's a new fund in town. Obviously, they want to see if they want to invest, if they want me to manage their funds. So a lot of the bigger banks here in Irvine, they've been like kind of watching our streams here to see how to kind of see how I'm trading because obviously if I have a track record, they're going to invest in the fund. Um, so yeah, that's one thing. So yeah, the Zoom's gonna be fine, but the YouTube, I might not trade on YouTube as much. I'll trade on YouTube maybe every couple of days, but not every day. Because we have to protect our edge, of course, right? Like this algo here is a little too strong to be sharing with the general public. Um, so let's see. Mendez is asking, aren't 46 and 6 and 48 work on opposite directions? Uh, sorta. They're both for sells here. Mendez. So you can see over here, I'm aiming for a sell for both. So they're not technically in opposite directions because I'd be looking for a sell for both of them. So right here at 646, we're looking for price to push up and then go against momentum so that I can take it for a sell. And then if that's the case, the 48 here is going to align with that because we're going with momentum, right? So what I'm looking for here is for price to retrace up, reverse, and then the 48 entry is going to continue down lower. So they're both for sells. The momentum is opposite, but we're looking for this type of pattern for price to push up, reverse initially, and then continue down lower. So they kind of align with each other. The 46 is the first reversal, and then the 48 is a continuation down lower. Does that make sense? It might not make sense to you, but that's kind of what we're looking for there. Michael's asking how many 1 minute candles it take to indicate the momentum change? It depends. It just depends on the momentum in the market, Michael. Sometimes it takes a few candles, sometimes it takes a lot of candles, right? So for example, here it took like maybe 2 candles for it to switch up, and then vice versa. Over here it took maybe like 10 or 15 candles. Then here it took 6 candles. There's no specific number. It just depends on the volatility of the market. So there's no set number where you're like, oh, it's going to change every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes or every 15 minutes. It just depends on like how the volatility is moving. But yeah, CJ said, I think you should be on YouTube once a week at most. But yeah, guys, if you guys are part of the YouTube, I mean, feel free to go to the website. If you want to continue watching me trade live and you want to be on the Zoom where it's real time and not delayed, just go to the website. It is kodikaitrades.com. Click on live trading room right here, and you guys can get access to it. I mean, the thing is, like, one of these trades here covers, I mean, the entire expense probably for like a whole year of of um of the Zoom stream. So, it's a very inexpensive trade-off if you are looking to get on the Zoom. So, yeah, if you guys want to continue following me, it's completely fine. It's just we don't want the streams to be like open to the general public. It's not that we're trying to close you guys out. It's just in the general public totally. Because you can only imagine if so many people are taking these trades that we're taking here, it's going to diminish the edge, right? That's just how the market is. You're not supposed to share your edge with like thousands of people. All right, guys. So looking over here at 7 4 or 646, this is not going to be an entry for me because, like I said, we needed to have a buy signal here before this came up. Unfortunately, there was no buy signal, so 646 is going to be ignored or not taken. So let me just delete this one right here. We can still follow it. I mean, if the entry comes up, it has a 50% probability of it winning. It's not a good probability, but it's still there if, if that's something that you guys want to take, if you feel comfortable or you feel confident about it, it's still there. All right, let's pull up the next one, which is at 648. Guys, so my last entry right here is at 751. At 751, if or not this trade comes up, I'm gonna have to get off the live right away. If you guys are just joining in, I mentioned I have some stuff to do after this. I have to meet with some investors. We're gonna go play golf at Oak Creek. Yeah, we're gonna play golf at Oak Creek, so I gotta go close these investors um, for the fund right after this. So just a heads up, guys. Right after this last entry, I gotta book it. I'm out of here. My tea time's at 8:30, so I gotta go drive to the golf course right after this. Um, so just a heads up, if you guys are wondering if I just kind of log off right away. Yeah, I'll be here until the last entry though. All right, so we got another possible opportunity right here. Hey, take Prof morning. What's up, Jason? Jason, as it said, is that Ricky who was always with us from back then? No, this is a different Rick. This is Rev. So different Rick here. I know you're referring to back to Open Rick, right? Back to Open Rick. No, he's not here. He might be here. Back to Open Rick might be following us here on the YouTube, but he's not on the Zoom. Different Rick. Let's see. Michael said aim for a sell, but you said we need to buy a signal. Yeah, Michael. So the 646, we're aiming for a sell, but in order for us to have a sell, you need to have a buy signal, right? Does that make sense? So we were looking for a buy signal there because you can't take this entry for a sell unless you have a buy signal. It's against momentum, right? Because momentum here is already for a sell. So this trade wouldn't come up if there was no buy signal. We would need to have like in order for you to have a sell entry to go against momentum, you would have to have a buy signal before. That's why I was saying we need to have a buy signal here because that's the only way we could take a sell position. This position here is actually for a buy because there was no buy position that came up because right here we have a sell signal, right? So if you have a sell signal, the opposite of a sell is a buy, correct? So that's why right here it'd be a buy entry for 646. But for me, I was looking for a sell. So in order for me to take that sell, we would have to have a buy signal. There's no way to take a buy here there's no way to take a sell here unless you have a buy signal present because you're going opposite of momentum. Does that make sense? Michael is asking, okay, thanks. And buy signal is candle closing is bullish. Uh, I mean, the candle it doesn't have to close as bullish. The momentum signals are on the chart. See how we have a green signal here? This is a green signal that goes up and down. That's a buy. This right here, there's a red signal that goes up and down. That's a sell. It doesn't matter what candle, if it closes bullish or bearish. It just has to have a momentum signal there because you're going opposite of it. Maria was asking if I was going to take the entry here for a sell. The thing with the sell right here, um, I was thinking about it, Maria, but because they were going opposite of each other, I didn't want to take it. Also, because price here is kind of just going back and forth, right? It's consolidating within this area. I mean, it looks like this position is probably going to play out, but I just didn't feel comfortable taking the position here. Um, because I wanted these two trades to line up with each other, right? I wanted the sell to come up on the 646 and then I wanted the 648 to follow. So that entire pattern here that I was looking for it to push up, reverse, and then continue down didn't play out. If that was the case, I would have taken it because this here would have been a follow-up confluence with the previous 646 entry, right? Because the reversal would have started here and the 648 would have been the continuation. But because we didn't have this here with these lined up, these are now kind of going against each other, right? Because the 646 is actually for a buy and the 648 is for a sell. So the problem with that is one of these is going to lose, right? It's either one's going to win, one's going to lose. Um, so that's why for me here, I kind of sat out on this entry specifically. Also because it's choppy, right? We've already learned this from the previous weeks. When the market is choppy like this, it's better to just sit out. So for the most part, that's why I mentioned, if we don't get an entry here at 6, it's perfectly fine because I'm gonna look for the entry here at 7. So yeah, I wasn't really looking to take that entry there because the criteria just didn't meet properly. Um, and this is kind of where it kind of plays in, like where you kind of, I mean, you don't necessarily mix technicals with the probabilities, but you still have to have some sort of idea of like how the market's moving, right? I mean, yeah, ideally you can kind of just take every trade that comes up, but if you want to be very spot on, which is what I have to do, obviously, because there's a lot of accounts I'm trading, you have to analyze the market to identify volatility. Right here, the volatility was too low. You guys can see how these candles here are moving. It's not a good market to just take random entries. Yeah, CJ said, I sat out because price is stuck on the Asia low and that buy signal has been pending for a while. Yeah, same here, CJ. That was another thing that I was looking at. See this buy signal right here? We were waiting for this buy signal since right here. So it kept coming up. It came up, disappeared, came up, disappeared, came up, disappeared. And I also saw that there's a lot of wicks right here, right? On the bottom side and a lot of wicks right here as well on the top side. So a lot of these entries, and you mentioned this last week too, Maria. You mentioned that like, these entries before 7 o'clock are usually kind of they're not as good because of the choppiness of the market. And you just have to understand that, right? You have to understand that you get that from market experience just from following the market and understanding that like not every entry is going to be equal. You'll have the probabilities, but what we've noticed over the past couple of weeks, and this is why I stopped trading pre-market, is because the 6 o'clock entries are very choppy. It's just that they're very choppy and these are the better candles. See how these candles here are moving? There's like very little wick. There's actual momentum behind them. And then as I said that this candle here gets small. But yeah, like I said earlier, you want candles that are like this. Big body candles, not very many wicks. Not like these here prior. What I've noticed is that when there's a lot of wicks, it's better to just sit out the market because it's a lot of uncertainty there. Even if the data shows that you might have probability on your side, it's still very tricky to be taking a trade like that. So yeah, Jason, no problem. Yeah, reach out to me and we'll discuss if you're interested in investing in Kodi Kai Capital. Jared said, enjoy your tea time. Close those investors. We need to get a tea time in soon. Yeah, definitely, Jared. Let me know if you're ever in Orange County. I know your brother's down here a lot, Jarrell. Definitely get a tea time out here. Sam is trying to get in at 42,640. Let's see where Sam's at right now. Here, let's see. I'm going to mark up some structure here. We don't have any entries coming up anytime soon, so I'm going to go ahead and mark up some structure over here. So I have a resistance that's like way up here. And then I have another resistance, which is right here. Another one right here. Yeah, and if some of you guys here want to invest in the fund but don't have the capital, if you guys are on the YouTube, Jared's right there. Jared's actually he's able to get you guys business capital. So yeah, if you guys want to invest in the fund but you just don't have the funds to invest, um, Jared's actually helping with funding. So yeah, we kind of have like a one-stop shop here. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't recommend getting into something that you're not completely uh familiar with, but there is funding there that's available for those of you who don't have the actual cash ahead, like up front, but still want to invest. That might be something we offer in the future, right? Funding for people if they meet the criteria. All right. We got price kind of pushing up right here. Sam's trying to get in at 42,640. Nice. So Sam's got in very quickly. So 42, wait, 42. Are you on a different asset, Sam? Because your pricing is way off. We're at 47 right now. I think it's just a typo, actually. You might have meant 47,640. Yeah, I think that's what you meant. It was a typo. So Sam actually got in right here. It looks like it didn't actually even get to that point. I know you're trading the indices, so your pricing might just be a little bit off. You probably touched on the indice market, but not on the future market. That makes sense. Here's the orb for today, guys. How far did the orb drop? This orb would have been skipped because it pushed down already. Or actually, no, it wouldn't have been skipped. Damn, the orb retest. See, this is why I stopped trading the orb retest. Look at how volatile this was right here on open. This would have stopped everybody out if you took this. I feel like with the orb now, you have to have a wider TP stop loss because it's just the thing is just, it's too volatile. It's just way too volatile. Let's see. Mm, okay, other than that, let's see. Let's see. Take prof said check your mail. Um, my mail, like my actual mail, my actual mail or my email. I just checked my email. I don't have anything from anybody right now. Let's see what we got over here. All right, so let's go back over here, guys. Let's see. The entry is at 702. So at 702, it's going to be with momentum. Let's go ahead and take a look at the criteria here. So 702, we have an overall market structure, or not market structure, overall probability of winning this trade, 62.50 for both buys and sells. For buys over here, it has a higher probability. It's won 6 out of the 7 entries, as an 85.71 probability of it winning. Wolf, don't you ask this question like every day? I swear I get this question every day. It says, why E-mini Dow Jones and not SPY or NASDAQ? Um, I don't know if you're the same person that asked this question, but I swear I get this question every single day. I trade the YM because this is my edge. I've been trading YM every day for 8 years now. Every morning for 8 years I've been trading the Dow. The thing with YM is that it doesn't matter what asset you trade. You could trade soybeans, you could trade coffee beans, you could trade whatever you want. Like, what I recommend and what I've seen from a lot of the most successful traders is focus on one asset that you're really good at and really understand and learn how to master that. That's why I trade YM because I've been trading YM for so long that I understand the market seasonality. I understand the market cycles. I understand the TP stop loss. I understand the ATR. I understand all that stuff when it caters to specifically YM. Um, yeah, so there is I mean, there's a lot of reasons why people trade YM or why I trade YM, but for the most part, I trade it because it's just the asset that I have the edge with, right? So there's no comparison. Like you can compare YM, ES, MQ, GC, soybean, ZN, whatever it may be. Everyone's good at their own specific asset. But for me, I trade YM for that specific reason because I'm good at trading YM. All right, guys, so we have an entry coming up right here at 702. I don't know if I want to take this entry again. Like I said, see the volatility right here? See all these wicks? This isn't a good sign. You don't want to see a lot of wicks on both sides here. You want price to just continue going back and forth, back and forth. Uh, Wolf said, "Oh, sorry, wait. I hope I didn't. My brain is not fast though. Whoops." but I think it wasn't me. But yeah, I get that question every day. I get the same question every day. Why do you trade a YM? The thing is, like, that shouldn't even really matter to anybody, right? What asset someone trades. The thing is, if you can trade, you can trade. Like, trading transitions to like asset, but yeah, I'm a lot better at YM than everything else, but I can trade NQ if I wanted to. I just trade YM because I've been trading YM for every day for the past 8 years. So just where my edge is at. All right, guys, 702. I'm not going to take this trade. As you guys can see, the volatility here is very, very flat. See the wicks? The candles here are moving too slow. These are just, you don't want to be caught in a sideways market, right? You don't want to be caught where price is just going back and forth like this, because if that's the case, well, the entry here is going to be a buy. But the reason why you don't want to take an entry with market going back and forth like this so slow is because our stop loss is very tight, right? We're using a 20-point stop loss. So with it being a 20-point stop loss, this becomes an issue because if price ends up ranging within this area, it can easily come down, stop you out before coming right back up to hitting your target. And you don't want that, right? You don't want price to do that where it just goes sideways for a bit. You want it to just fill your order and go straight up. So for me personally, I mean, this is starting to look actually kind of good now as price kind of starts to climb up a little bit. No, I still see the big wick right here, even on this current candle. So I'm going to hold off on this right here, guys. I have other entries here, so I'm not required to get in right away, right? My main goal here as, a risk manager is really to avoid risk, of course, right? Manage risk and avoid risk as much as possible. If you guys want to take this trade here at 702, feel free. It's going to be a buy entry. A lot of wicks right there. A lot of wicks, a lot of low volatility. So the entry is now running right there in profit. Now it's looking like it's going to be a great entry, actually. All right, so if you guys took that position, we're going to follow it for you guys there. Looks like it's pushing right through. That was the algo entry right here at 702. Again, it has a 62.50 probability overall. Nice like pump up right there immediately on the open of the fall of the actual entry candle. Again, it has an 85.71 probability of it winning. It typically does work pretty nicely here. It's won two out of the three recent entries, and it's pushing through right there. All right, so now that price is pushing up here at 709, I'm going to look for the reversal back down. So push up right there and then reversal back down. So the algo, you can see how strong the algo is, right? It predicted this momentum push was going to happen before it even happened. Looks like some of you guys here might have caught in it. Full TP right there. Damn. What an entry right there for that algo. Solange got it. CJ got it. Nice work, guys. Yeah, Sam said let it get out of the range, maybe. That's what I was waiting for, Sam, and it did. It literally came up on that following candle. If you guys caught that, great work. It pushed right past the target, so you should have gotten out. There shouldn't be no slippage issues there. So great work, guys, there. First entry for the day for algo. The algo, so today's algo entries. I mean, this was a good entry. Just the volatility didn't line up with what I was looking for. Stay. This was at 702. Win plus 2R. Total on the win. Zero loss. Plus 2R. All right, so there goes the entries for today so far. I was really tempted to get into this one, but like I said, the volatility here is just a little too slow for me. Honestly, I should have went back and saw the previous data. I'm curious now, so I'm gonna look to see what happened last week. So last week it actually played out again, right? It was the same thing. So like I should have went back to kind of see like how price is moving. It looks like it was consolidating right here on Friday as well. Consolidated and then it went straight up. And I'm curious to see what happened on Thursday. No, so this one over here, I mean, it was kind of consolidating a little bit, but it did hit again on that day on Thursday. Yeah, so it wasn't it hasn't always been very good. So like for example, over here on Wednesday, it came up and it was went straight to stop loss because it was consolidating. It seems like around that point it consolidates a lot, but then it works. The buys here do hit though. Damn. I should have just went back and looked at the previous history because it looks like here like it did go sideways and eventually just pushes up. The buys work well, the sells don't, which is why my probabilities were for a buy there. Yeah, you can see here the sells they typically lose because it shoots right up at for whatever reason at that time every single day. Yeah, the shorts here aren't good. All right, let me check the next one. So the next one over here is going to be at 709. Let me put the statistics in here real quick. All right, so 709 is right here. Oh, gotcha, take prof. Sure. Yeah, I mean, you can tell them to message me if you want. I mean, there's a lot of people who fill out the form for the hedge fund, so I'm not sure who you referred over. There's a lot of people who I mean, I have like a list of like 100 people that I still have to go through. There's a long wait list for the fund. So yeah, if your friend isn't interested, I'll probably get to them, or they probably got an email already from me. So they have them check their mail. All right, so looking over here at 709, guys, entries at 709, it's going to be with momentum. It has a 68.75 probability of it winning either direction. It has an 80% probability of it winning for sells, 63.64% probability for buys. This trade could actually be good in either direction. Let me look back to see like how it moved in the past. So this one over here, it actually didn't work good on last Friday for a buy. The sell worked good over here when the consolidation came down on Thursday. The buy over here as well. Looks like it worked well. I'm just looking at the previous historical data here to see how it moves. So like, yeah, it looks like the buys here can pretty much work pretty well, but I'm looking for a sell though. That's a problem. The problem is that I'm looking for a sell, but the buys here also look good. I mean, they don't look great, but they do look good for the most part. Yeah, the buys here look pretty decent. I mean, if the volatility is high enough, it looks like it could be pretty decent. Let's see. No. Okay, so looking at this right here, guys, my target entry for this is going to be a sell at 709, but there's not going to be a sell entry here. So if you look over here at 709, it's at 709 with momentum. The momentum here is bullish, so it's actually going to be a buy entry. Probability 68.75, 80% probability for sells. It won one out of the three recent Mondays, and I would be aiming for a sell here. Unfortunately, this here is going to be a buy. So I think for this one over here, I might not take this one. Yeah, exactly. And Constantine also mentioned there's only four winning trades for short and seven for long. So ideally here, I mean, the buys could probably work out better. The problem here, though, that I'm seeing is that price is overextended. See how price is pushed up a little bit and it's starting to slow down? So it pushed up, consolidated, pushed up, and now it's consolidating. This is indicating that we may be setting up for a reversal back down, right? Because over here at 721, this is actually going to be against momentum. So I think I'm going to hold off on this. If you guys want to take this right here, this is going to be a buy entry at 709. Um, yeah, I mean, the probabilities just aren't, they're not super high. They're not high enough for me to want to take it. It does have more trades. The sample size is bigger. It's won seven out of the 11 entries right here. And this is where the discretion comes in. If you guys want to take this entry, you guys are feel free to take it. I'm marking it up for you guys right here. I'm not in this position. Probably a good decision not to, but I'm gonna hold off on it. Yeah, Gumdrop said holding off. Yeah, I think it was a better decision to hold off on this trade here. Also because it went straight into drawdown. Right. It doesn't mean this trade's gonna lose. Like, I would never fade my analysis here, but like I said, it looked like it was overextended and it was time for it to turn around. Only problem is we didn't have that sell signal there for my entry. All-time high is at 7.7. Yeah, we're getting close to the all-time high though. 7775. I see Drew's asking, hey Sean, is the momentum trend indicator you were using a custom script? Which momentum trend indicator are you talking about, Drew? Because I just have the momentum here. I don't have anything else on the chart. Momentum trend indicator. So this is just the momentum indicator. This, Drew, is the momentum indicator. It's not a momentum trend indicator. This is the main momentum indicator. Yeah, because if you look at your list here, we don't have a momentum trend indicator. Like if you look at your invite only scripts, it's just momentum. That's the one that has the vertical lines for the algo trades. There's a trend meter, so a trend meter is different. That's down here, but we don't really use that. Um, that's the only trend indicator that we have, unless you're using the pivots. The pivots can be used for trend too, but the vertical lines are it's just the momentum indicator. So all of these vertical lines right here that go up and down, that's just momentum. Yeah, but we don't have a momentum trend. All right, let me take this off real quick. I don't want you guys to think I'm in the position. Let's see. Question from Gumdrop. He's asking, when you don't take signals, how do you decide which ones include today's algo entries? So the ones that say to get today's algo entries are the ones that I plan to take, but the ones that I decided not to get into, right? So like for example, right here, the 702 entry, it's one that I wanted to take, but but I decided not to get into it because of like specific reasons, right, that I mentioned earlier. Because there's a lot of target entries here, but then I'll have entries where I'm like, okay, I'll take this, um but it doesn't meet the criteria. Like for example, see this 709 entry over here? This one's not listed because it wasn't an actual sell entry. It was a buy entry, right? This was an actual buy entry. So for this one, 702 it was a target entry and it was a buy entry. So this met all the criteria, but the only reason I didn't take it was because it was choppy, right? It was the volatility is very low. For this one over here, this one wouldn't have been taken regardless because the 709 entry was supposed to be a sell, but it was actually a buy entry. Does that make sense, Gundrop? So yeah, the ones that end up going here are the ones that I actually wanted to take, but there were other factors that indicated, not going to take this trade because it's either choppy or it's too volatile or it's not volatile enough. Yeah, that's the big difference between the 702. The 702 would have been an actual entry. Like everything lined up. It was for a buy, met the criteria. The only reason I decided not to is because price was going sideways. 709 is different. This over here, I for sure wouldn't have taken it because I was already like the night before I already decided for a sell and the entry here was for a buy. Yeah. So this one over here actually would have been pretty good if it was a sell. Like like I wanted for it to be a sell, but it wasn't. So unfortunately, this wasn't a trade that I was looking to take. But if it was there, it looks like it would have been, a good entry. So yeah, again, that's the reason why I go with the higher probability, even though it's still pretty high for buys, I still would have went for a sell here because it was an 80%, even if I had a smaller sample. Let's see, Take Prof is asking, how did I get into futures? I mean, honestly, we were kind of forced into futures. We were trading indices before. But the CFDs, I mean, FTMO ended up kicking us out. So we couldn't trade CFDs anymore. And then we ended up trading, well, I mean, now I'm trading futures, it's the equivalent to the CFD, but it's what's it called? So it's equivalent to the CFD, but it's basically the actual asset. Because before we used to trade US 30, and US 30 is basically YM. It's just YM is the actual asset on the exchange versus US 30, which is the indice. The indice is typically what a lot of Forex brokers use because it's what they call like a synthetic market, it's a made up market where it just follows YM, but YM is the actual asset that it follows. So we didn't necessarily we were kind of forced to trade futures, but it's the same thing. Like if you traded US 30 in the past, or if you still trade US 30, it's the same thing as YM. It's just YM is on the actual exchange. So like, prices get manipulated here, spreads don't get manipulated because you're trading on the actual CBOT exchange. Or I mean, depends on what you're trading. If you're trading a prop firm, you're not trading on the actual exchange. You're still in a made up market, but you're trading off the actual live data. Yeah, so Drew, if you want to know what all the tools do and how they work, you can always go to the website. I don't actually have it up right now, but um, yeah, the website has a video of like pretty much every indicator and every tool. But yeah, going back to what you were mentioning earlier, I wasn't sure if you caught that, what I mentioned. Like we don't have a momentum trend indicator. This is just a momentum indicator, and that's what we use to identify, whether it's with or against momentum. So it doesn't really factor in trend. I mean, it does factor in trend in a sense because momentum aligns with trend. So it looks like it might be okay, you have bullish momentum. It's like price is trending up, right? But that just goes with the fact, right? The thing here is it's mainly tracking momentum, but if the trend typically follows momentum. Like if you look at what at the trend meter over here, or if you look at the momentum signal, you'll see that a lot of times you'll get a momentum before the trend even shifts, right? So for example, here we have a sell momentum. It was a bullish trend, but then the trend follows it after. So you can see right here, we already had a sell signal, but the trend doesn't confirm until here on the pivots, and it doesn't confirm until here on the trend meter. So the momentum is actually faster than, any of these other trend indicators that people use. So I mean, they could be used in conjunction with each other. I mean, a lot of people do that, and they are useful and they do work. It just kind of depends on like what you're using it for. All right, 721 guys, next entry right here. So 721, this is going to be against momentum. It has a 68.75 probability of it winning. It has a target, it's a target entry. It has a 62.50 probability of it winning for a buy. Let me change the settings here. But yeah, it has a 62.5 probability of it winning for a buy and a 75 point probability for a sell. They're both pretty even. For the buys here, it won 5 out of the 8 previous entries. For the sells here, it won 6 out of the previous 8. So just one more entry more. Um, it's won 2 out of the 3 recent Mondays. And it works well for both buys or sells. So what I'm going to be looking for here is if I'm going to be looking for a buy, I want to see price to actually kind of consolidate here for a little bit, right? Consolidate and then swing back up. Ideally, that's kind of what I want to see there. So I'm basically going to look for price here to kind of swing up a little bit and then try to ride this up higher. Oh, man, stretch. Oh, my body's super sore. Today's like the worst day to feel sore because I'm gonna be at the golf course for like 4 hours and I'm gonna be super sore just sitting on the golf cart. Oh man. All right, so if you guys are looking to see this here at 721, uh this is not looking good with the price volatility. I'm looking for price to slow down and it's actually going faster. It's not slowing down here. Okay, guys, so this is going to be tricky. Like I said, if this here doesn't slow down, I'm probably not going to take this here for a buy, right here, because I'm not following price action and I'm not following technical analysis. I'm just following the volatility to price. The problem with this here is I don't want to catch a falling knife, right? Have you guys ever heard of that before? It's called catching a falling knife, where the volatility and volume is going down very quickly, but you're looking for a reversal. In order for this reversal to kind of play out the way we want it to, I need price to slow down. I need it to stop dropping. I need to start picking up and then go back the other way, right? If this thing here still drops further, there's no point in me catching this because the thing is, like I said, my stop loss is really tight. So if it comes down even a little bit, it's going to stop me out before it goes up. So I do not like how volatility here is moving. currently. If it pushes up higher, then possibly entry for me here. So what I'm looking for here is I'm probably gonna look for the 621 candle to close green. If it closes green, then great. If it closes red, I'm probably not going to take it, guys. Being realistic here, probably not going to take it because I don't want to catch a falling knife. You guys have heard that before. Most likely, catching a falling knife is kind of going against the direction of momentum, direction of price, and it's not good if your stop loss is super tight. If I had a wider stop loss, if my stop loss was like down here, okay, great, because I can stomach, retracement. But because my stop loss is 20 points, this makes it extremely difficult for me to catch any drawdown, right? Like I literally can't have any drawdown because if I have any drawdown, it's not going to work out. So I'll watch this candle here. We got about 20 seconds left on it. If this candle pushes up and closes green, like a nice green candle, I'll probably take it. If it doesn't and it closes red, I'm just going to sit out of it. We got 10 seconds here. I don't think I'm going to take it, but we'll see how this candle ends up looking. Again, I'm not forcing any trades today, guys. It's Monday. We have a whole trading week ahead of us. Okay, I'm not going to get into this here, guys. It attempted to push up. So you can see over here, it tried to push up, right? It came up, but it did not close green like I mentioned. This thing here could still play through. Don't get me wrong, guys. If you guys want to take this position, feel free. Take it at your own risk. I still have a couple different opportunities over here. Actually, I have one, or I have two opportunities left. So I got one here at 728. And I got one here at 751. Here's the thing with trading, guys. We talk about this pretty much every week. The thing with trading is not identifying entries to win, right? The real skill with trading is being a risk manager and identifying trades to avoid or trades to sit out of, right? Because here's the thing, it's easy to get lucky trading, right? Winning at trading is easy. You can take a random buy. It's like throwing darts, throwing darts at a dartboard. Like literally, you can throw as many darts as you want, and you're going to hit a target every so often, right? It's going to be easy for you to take wins. The real skill with trading is knowing when to sit out of the market, right? Knowing when to sit out, knowing when to sideline yourself, because a market like this, it's very unpredictable. And like I said, because my stop loss is so tight, if it pulls back even just a little more, it can stop me out before it pushes up. And that's the worst feeling, right? The worst feeling is how price pulls down a little bit. It stops you out. As soon as it stops you out, it goes all the way back up. So until I widen out my stop loss a little more, I got to be very careful and very selective about my entries. Right now, the 40/20s are still okay, but it doesn't meet my criteria in a sense that we can survive any of this pullback right now. So see how price here is going sideways? We don't like that, right? In a situation like this, I would have wanted price to swing the other way. So we have another opportunity right here at 728. Looking at this is going to be probably a better opportunity because so the 721 is supposed to be the reversal, right? Like this is what we were talking about earlier at 702. This is supposed to be a reversal up, the initial reversal, and then at 728, this is supposed to be the continuation up higher. So if this thing here confirms that the reversal has happened, then that's fine because here this can probably go sideways for a bit, and then at 728 it can actually push right through. So the actual entry that I'm going to be looking to take is going to be right here at 728. Price here might just consolidate back and forth, but this 728 is going to be the continuation up higher. So yeah, this right here is 721, the reversal, which is against momentum. 728, continuation up higher. Oh, fuck, I just realized. So my analysis here, it doesn't even line up because these trades are going to go opposite of each other. I just realized that the 728 candles or 728 entry is a sell. Okay, well that analysis goes out the window. Let's go ahead over here. I'm gonna go and change this to the 728. I'm gonna do some analysis here, see what the probabilities are for a buy. Okay, the probabilities here are horrible for measure it. Okay, so they're actually not that bad for a buy, but I still don't think I would take the entry there. I still would take what I agreed on last night, which was a sell, which is all normal for a Monday. Man, so I made some pretty good calls today, guys. Some pretty good calls on avoiding these entries. Look at this trade right here. I avoided this possible loss because of the analysis that I did. Yep. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing here hits stop and then goes right back up, or if it hits stop and there you go. Good reason that I avoided that trade there because I would have took a loss on that one. Okay, the 728 entry here is going to be for a sell. This one actually looks like it could be a good entry. What I want to see is I want price to break out of this range. So it's currently ranging right now. See how price is ranging back and forth? I want it to break out of here and drop lower. We don't want to be in this choppy market. All right, next one's gonna be here at 728. Oh, so let's take a look at the overall probabilities. 62.50% probability of it winning overall for pretty much buys and sells. 60% probability for buys. It won 6 out of 10 recent buys. And then 66.67 probability for sells. It won 4 out of the recent 6 sell entries. Now, looking over here at the recent Mondays, so on the 20th here it won. This was the last Monday for a buy. The Monday before that, it was the 13th right here at 1 for a sell. And for the 6th over here, it won as well. So it won 3 out of 3, actually. Let me see the dates. Is that right? 2013 and 6. Yeah. So one right here on the 6th for a buy, one here on the 13th for a sell, and it lost over here. Or no, sorry. It won actually for a buy here too. Okay. It actually won 3 out of the 3 recent Mondays. So that's a good thing. All right, we're getting close to the entry. Let me just look at the previous ones if it was ranging before it went into the entry. It was in a little bit of a range. It ended up kind of pulling back and then dropping down lower on Friday. Sort of, yeah. Sells right here. Okay, so it looks like the ranges here are okay. Sometimes it takes a while when it gets to that point. Okay, the volatility here is very low, but I would like it to close. So if we get into this for like a nice, decent red candle. See these candles right here? I actually don't like how it's moving now. Initially, I liked how it was moving, and now it kind of flattened out like the. Okay, so I'm only going to get into this entry if it comes down a little bit lower. I need to close below these basically these candles right here, and I need this to close red. We got 20 seconds left on this candle. If you guys want to take this, feel free. This is going back to what I was just saying earlier, right? I don't want to catch the falling dagger or the falling knife. This is a falling knife, but in the opposite direction. See how price is pushing up now? You don't want to go against the momentum or volatility or basically the directional push because this is a sell entry. Yeah, I'm not taking it. That momentum is a little too strong. If you guys want to follow it right here, I think this could probably play through. But like I said, I don't want it. I don't want to be going against the direction of price. Like if price was dropping, then okay, great. I'm gonna ride that wave down further. But because this candle over here ended up pushing up very strong, I would have been worried if it pushed up even a little bit higher to stop me out before coming back down lower. All right, today's feeling like a little bit of a toss-up, it looks like. It's looking like a little bit of a toss-up. We have another entry coming up right here at 7:35. It's not a target entry for me, but we will follow it and we'll look at it. Last entry is going to be at 7:51 for a sell. Trade's currently playing out right now. Barack said, Sean's analysis direction, my analysis direction, get it going, add positions, trail cautiously. Yeah, definitely, Barack. Definitely. Um, all right. So again, right here, you guys can see we're still stuck in this chop, guys. This is I've been warning about this pretty much all day today. I said you don't want to be taking trades in chop because our stop loss is too tight. 20-point stop loss. You can't be caught in a range for that long. Like your trade's gonna have to go in your direction right away. See how price here is pushing up? this is moving in direction of this momentum right here, right? The momentum of this candle. That's why I said I didn't want to take this unless it closed red, because typically if it closed, so for example, let's take a look at this previous red momentum right here. See how this was a strong candle to the downside? And then see how these candles over here followed with it? It just went straight down. That's what I wanted for this entry right here. I wanted this entry to have a decent red candle and then it just follows straight down. Not to say that this won't come down, but this put me at risk here because if it was coming up, like I said, this can easily stop me out before it comes right back down, right? It's looking great so far though, actually. So this is looking like a good entry so far. Um, Ideally, you want this to be below these levels here. Not looking at this from a technical analysis perspective, but you just want volume and momentum to come down from here. So I'm not in this position. Obviously, I would still hope that this trade plays out because we obviously don't want to fade our analysis here. We want our analysis to actually play through. But I would consider this a risky entry. Analysis here lined up, sort of. For the most part, the criteria was met, but the closing part was just not, it just wasn't there. Like I wouldn't want to take it with this green candle. Barack said I needed to hit Sean. Okay, yeah. So we need this to hit not just for us, but we need this to hit for Barack because Barack is in the cell. So let's see where this goes. Let's see. Sam said I have buying level below this, so this fair value gap should come down 40 points. Nice, nice. Okay. So Sam also analyzes this as a probability for it to come down lower. So there was a small fair value gap right here, or imbalance in a sense that having a bunch of connection loss right now. Connection loss. I just reconnected. So I have a small imbalance like right over here. Very small imbalance. The market's just very choppy today, guys. So I wouldn't be too worried. I mean, it's a Monday, right? So if you guys have been trading for a while, you guys understand that Mondays are usually the uh one of the higher days of market manipulation, of course, because people are re-entering the market from the weekend. So, obviously we're playing it safe here. We're playing it safe. I'm not really getting into anything too crazy here. I don't really feel forced to get anything too crazy. There's a small imbalance right here. So this is a break and retest of the imbalance. See how this trade's going back and forth? I feel like this trade, if we were in this position, it would have stressed me out so much because it keeps going back and forth between profit, entry point, profit, entry point. Generally, when we take our entries, they don't really pull back at all, right? They usually just go into profit and they just continue dropping lower. But because of this right here, this is, it's a very uncertain market where price just keeps going back and forth. Like I already predicted this to likely happen, right? We assumed this was going to happen. This is why I avoided the entry to begin with. That's why I said I wanted price to come down below these levels here because then I have momentum down here. And if I had momentum down here, price would just come down, retrace a little bit, come down lower. But that's not the case here, right? It's obviously the opposite. Price is sitting down the middle. So I'm not in this position. We're following it here, but like I mentioned, it just didn't really meet criteria. Let's see. Take Prof is asking, how did you adapt to the transition? I mean, it wasn't much of a transition. It was just so the difference with like the futures is just it doesn't have decimal points, right? Like the price right now is at 46,627. If you're trading indices, this is probably like 46,631.5235 or whatever. It's not a huge difference. Like trading with futures is actually better because there's less slippage, there's less manipulation. I mean, there's probably not much manipulation as much, but the spreads are actually a lot tighter compared to, trading something like indices. So, all right, we're still following this right here, guys. My last possible opportunity for entry is going to be at 751. This one over here it's not a target entry for me. I mean, technically, this could be a good entry right here. 735 is gonna be a buy. See, No, I'm not going to jump into it. This is a FOMO move. I would have had to analyze this like before I even got into it, but here's an entry right here at 735, guys. If you guys want to take it. So this is a 50, the probability is not strong enough for me. It is a 50% probability for overall, 70% probability for a buy. It won 7 out of the 10 previous entries. It won 2 out of the 3 recent Mondays. So this right here is an entry for 735 for a long. I just don't like the chop right here, guys. Like this is the chop that, we talked about. I don't like this. The market's going back and forth right here. This actually looks like a pretty decent entry though, because here's the thing. We have all this space right here, right? If price pushes up, it has to fill this liquidity right here. It's basically going to come up and grab this liquidity because there's liquidity sitting up right here. So if it does come up higher, it can come up and grab that liquidity if you're looking from the technical side. But no, if I really wanted to take this entry, it would have been my target entry. I did not put it as a target entry. I think it's because the probabilities aren't strong enough for me. So let's go do the math real quick. So it's like basically 50 plus 70 divided by 200. Yeah, the probabilities aren't high enough. It needs to be above a 65% probability, right? I'm at 60% here. So this entry right here has a 50. So 50 plus 70 divided by 200. It's a 60% probability of this trade winning. And it looks like again right here, guys. So I didn't take any trades today, but I called a lot of bad entries, right? I called a lot of entries that I said were going to be bad, and we avoided a lot of unnecessary losses. Like for example, this trade over here for a sell, we avoided this trade because I said price here was choppy, and this candle didn't close red, so I skipped it. And good thing because this trade would have lost. Right. Again, with this entry over here, this entry wasn't even part of my target entries. I was getting tempted to get into it, but then I did the math over here and I try to make it make sense. It didn't make sense to me because basically I added up the probabilities for overall and for buys here, and combined it only calculated to a 60% probability, which doesn't meet my list. 60% could get on the list, but it's not enough to be a target entry. So yeah, Daniel said trades are going against each other now. Yeah, exactly. So th this is a clear example of a choppy market, right? This is a clear example to stay out of the market. So, like we've said this before, guys, there's going to be days where the market's choppy, and those are days that you want to sit out of the market. The thing is, you have to have the skill to read the market to understand when the market's choppy, right? Because sometimes it's not as clear. But I mean, this is clear as day, right? If I was to take everything off the chart, it's pretty clear. Like you can see how choppy it is right here down the middle. There's 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 no if and buts. Like literally this is telling us like don't enter the market. Market is choppy right now. We're trading off momentum, and if there's not going to be any opportunities here that are clean, then just don't get into any positions here. We're moving over to the 751 entry. So here's my analysis for 751. We have an overall probability of 56.25. So let me do the math for that real quick. I just want to show you guys how this became a target entry for 751. So let's do the math real quick. So 56.25 plus 83.33, that is 139.58 probability overall divided by 200. So this gives me a 69.8 probability of it winning for a sell, right? That's why my trade over here is for a sell, because I have a 69.8 probability that it's going to win for a sell. The thing with this here is I need price to actually move, right? So what I'm looking for here is okay, I'm looking for a range here, which is perfectly fine. Then I need a sell signal to come up, and I'm going to look for that continuation down lower. All right, so it's actually looking pretty decent right now. We got price kind of see like this right here. I don't like this small chop. But if we get a bigger chop, say for example, we get a big range right here, then I'm okay with that. But I don't want the little chop. So what I'm looking for here is I don't care what happens from here until then, but I need a sell signal to come up at some point, and I need it to drop lower. Or preferably what I'd like to see here is I want this to keep ranging a little back and forth. Then I want it to come up and then come right back down lower. I want it to have enough space here for it to basically drop through the floor and clear more space because we have this lower point, right? So if you're looking at this from a technical analysis perspective, we can see price coming down and grabbing liquidity right here, right? We got this big push to the upside, consolidation to liquidity to basically retest the bottom here for a double bottom, right? So this is where it comes, this is where like my technical analysis background is useful because we're not trading off technical analysis, but I can use this to kind of forecast where price is likely to go, right? I can forecast where price is likely to push through. Yeah, Jason over here said, Sean, it as gap, so I think it'll come down to fill that gap. Yeah, I agree with you, Jason, 100%. Your analysis lines up with mine. That's pretty much what I identified right there as well, right? We have liquidity sitting down below, so if it does come down lower from this point, right, there is going to be space for price to hit. So what I would like to see here, we got a lot of time though, guys. It's 7:41 right now, so we have some time until 7:51 right here, right? What I would like to see here is I would like the range to continue. Just keep going back and forth a little bit, and then eventually I would like to see it come down pretty nicely. Ideally, that's kind of what I want to see. So we will see what happens here. I'm going to follow it. But again, if we don't break out of this range here, then I'm probably not going to take it, guys. Like I said, today's Monday. Let's look at my results. So these are my trading stats for the month. I don't need to force any trades, right? I haven't traded Mondays for the past 2 weeks. So on the 13th over here, I took no trades. 20th, I took no trades. The last Monday was actually a really good day, though. If you guys remember last Monday, there was like 7 entries that came up. And they all hit. Again, today's the 27th. You can see here that I typically don't trade, like, it's not that I avoid Mondays, but a lot of times the Monday is not a good trading day. It's just a choppy market. So, this might be another Monday with no entries. If it is, that's perfectly fine because overall my stats here look amazing. So avoiding Mondays isn't necessarily a bad thing because we pretty much avoided like 2 or 3 bad trades today that could have been easily avoided, and I avoided them for that specific reason. So you just got to look at the market from a bigger perspective, guys. Today's not your last day to trade. Today's not going to make or break your your trading. Um, if the entries don't look good, then don't take the entries. There's no need to force anything here. Yeah, Barack said 30-minute time frame is a perfect definition of chop. So let's take a look at what Barack is mentioning over here. Yeah. So I'm looking over here at the 30-minute. So Barack said the 30-minute here is like definition of chop. You were 100% correct, Barack. Yep. Chop City right there, right? So this is on the higher time frame. If there's chop on the higher time frame, this shows you that the market in general is just choppy. It's not even the 1 minute, it's like the higher time frames as well. So yeah, Barack said today seems it seems today the market is on Trap Tuesday theme. Yeah, it's just chopping back and forth, guys. So like I don't even look at the higher time frames, but Barack over here mentioned here that the 30-minute, it's a very clear chop. This shows you that it's better to just sit out of the market, guys. There's no need to force anything. The 15-minute over here as well. Even the higher time frame. So the 15-minute here is choppy, but let's look at the 1 hour. The 4 hour, actually. Let's look at the 4 hour. Look at the 4 hour. Nothing going on the entire day, just chop, chop, chop. 1 hour. So I mean, today was probably a good day to sit out the market, guys. Honestly, like I don't even think I'm going to take that 751 entry. You guys can see the choppiness right here. Yeah, there's just choppy market overall. So for those of you who are trading, hopefully your trades are hitting. I mean, especially you, Sam. I know you're one of the guys here that still trades like in these types of markets. Thankfully for me, I have a real good eye of identifying when to kind of sit out the market. So I already kind of saw this before it even happened. Like, when we started trading this morning, I already mentioned that, okay, if this happens, I'm not going to take any trades. And we were able to identify this pretty early on, which is great. We have a resistance right here. This is an imbalance, but I'm just gonna draw the resistance instead. We don't really have much here to work with. Like I said, it's yeah, I don't know. Just not looking so great. Just chop right here. So the thing that I do like is that there's a bigger range, right? We don't have just this little chop right here. This is actually a pretty big range. So let me go back over here real quick. Okay, so there still may be a probability or a possibility of a trade here at 751. It's 746 right now, so we have about we'll say about 5 minutes till this time. Let me check the calendar. I don't even know if there was news today. No, there's nothing. No catalyst for today. That's why the market here is not really moving. Let's check CNBC. Any breaking news? No breaking news. So here's the thing, like over the weekend, Trump mentioned that he was going to increase tariffs on Canada. So I thought that was going to kind of push price around, but it didn't really do anything. Um, yeah, it didn't really do too much, which is it's fine. It's just kind of how it is. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, there's no breaking news today. Last news event was about 30 minutes ago. It was just Qualcomm, nothing specific, Nvidia. But there's nothing here that really, there's no catalyst to like push price around. So I think price might just consolidate for a bit. Yeah, it's not looking super great. It's 748 right now. So we're getting closer to 751. Like I said earlier, I was looking for a sell signal here to come up, but I wanted to close like somewhere below these levels right here, right? So I wanted price to be down here. Price is pretty far up, so I don't think it's going to come down this far. The main reason I'm saying that is because I'm looking for a sell here. In order for me to take that sell, price needs to actually drop quite a bit. It's dropped about 25 points. It's not a lot. It's 25 points, but the ATR is currently at 17, so it's actually really slow right now. We're used to seeing the ATR like on the upper 20s to lower 30s. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll get the move right here. It's still pushing down. We have a pending sell signal right there. So 751, it's with momentum. It's a 56.25 probability of it winning overall for a 1 to 2 target entry with a 83.33 probability for sell. It won 2 out of the 3 recent Mondays, and I'm aiming to take a sell. The problem with this here is we need that sell signal, right? If that sell signal doesn't come up, there's just not going to be an entry. The buys here aren't good. So if you look over here, the buys are a 40% probability. So I'm not going to take this here for a buy. I'm also not going to take it here in this middle of this chop, right? Like I said earlier, I'm okay with the big range. If price was ranging like this, okay, perfect. I'll take the trade within the range. But that's not happening here. Price is chopping back and forth right here down the middle. And if you look here on the bigger time frame, like we'll go to the 1 hour, right? The 1 hour or the 4 hour. You see how price hasn't gone anywhere for like the past 10 hours? Like for 10 hours right here, price has just been flat. You don't want to trade in a market like that because the thing is you'll be holding onto the bag, right? You never want to be holding the bag. Like that's in trading, that's like not the good thing. Like you want to have a target price point that you're aiming for, and you want price to be moving to that target price point. You don't want to be holding onto the bag and price just going sideways for like an hour. 'Cause that's literally what's happening right here. There's nothing going on. So yeah, guys, unfortunately, it looks like I'm not going to have any entries for today. Let me see if there's any questions. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the chat and I'll answer your guys' questions before I head out. Again, I have to head out because I have a meeting with one of my bigger investors today, or a couple of them actually. Today's gonna be a pretty. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna close these guys, but this is gonna bring a lot of money to the fund, and this is gonna be really good for everybody else, right? Because the thing is, if these three guys sign up to the fund, they're gonna be bringing like a million each. That's gonna mean that I'm gonna be dropping like 500 to 1,000 contracts in the market. And if you guys remember, we talked about this yesterday, right? Or not yesterday, on Friday. We talked about this on Friday where like I did the math and like in order for us to like really move the market, because I'm already dropping like 100 contracts. So whenever we enter a position, we'll typically go straight into profit because I push price about 1 to 3 points. When I start dropping like 500 contracts, I'll be moving like it'll always move price 3 to 10 points. So like basically when we get into our positions for the algo, we're going to be automatically in profit like 3 to 10 points. And then once I start dropping like 1,000 contracts, I'll be pushing price like pretty nice, like maybe 10 to 20 points. So it's going to be very beneficial, not just for the bigger investors, but to the smaller investors who are part of the fund, because you guys are able to ride that wave. We have so much volume in the market that we push the market far enough for us to get to our target, right? Because our target's only 40 points. So if I can push the market in our favor at least 10 points, that's a big difference, right? Or even more, 10 or 20 points. We're basically guaranteeing to be in profit already this much. And then if people in the market follow us, it'll go straight to our target. All right, guys, here's the 751 entry. I'm not in the position, but it is running. If you guys want to take it, or if you guys did take it, it's currently running in profit right now. It just did not meet my criteria, so I decided not to take it. But yeah, guys, I gotta run. So let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing before we get off. CJ's looking for the gap. Let me scroll up real quick. Alad said, Sean, when trading gold, what should the RR be? The ATR is 11. What is equivalent to gold? So you add what is it? You add a zero to it. Okay, a lot. So basically, if you're doing that'd be 1 point, basically. I could be wrong, but I think that's 1 point. Let me go to gold real quick. Yeah, so if you're trading gold, I think it's like 10.25. No, no, okay. It's it's measured differently. Let me see what my criteria was over here. You probably want to ask someone who actually trades gold. So I'm probably not the person you want to ask a lot. You probably want to talk to Surin because Surin actually trades gold. I don't trade it, so I can't even give you a proper answer. But okay, so for me, I'm typically doing 10 to 5 points, right? So 10 to 5 points is oh no, no, sorry. This is based off ticks. So if you're doing ticks here, you basically want to be based off like this. So, or shit the other way. So 100 to 50 is basically this is 1 to 5 or 10 to you just take the zero off. So like if you're doing point wise, it's going to be 10 points, 5 points, but these are measured in ticks. So you basically add a zero to it. So see right here the ATR is currently at 49. That's basically where your stop would be. You'd be doing 50. So you just want to calculate the first two numbers, Elad. Kind of ignore the extra numbers, but just the first two numbers. So see how it's 49? That's equal to 56. Does that make sense? But again, you should probably check with someone who actually trades gold. But that's how I measure it. That's why I have my stop here at 50 because the ATR down there is the first two numbers. Yeah. All right, guys. I think that's it for the day. Looks like the trade here is running still. Yeah, the trade's still running, but it's, like I said, it's a tricky entry because the market here is kind of going sideways. So I'm gonna wrap it up for the day, guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up. I'm gonna be playing golf for like the next 4 or 5 hours, so I will probably not be able to get back to you guys until later today. But yeah, big meeting with three big investors for the fund today. I'm likely to close them, but when I do, it's gonna be very beneficial for everybody here because we're gonna be able to move the markets a lot smoother than we have been in the past. But all right, guys, I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, I will talk to you guys here in a few on the Discord.